Transient as adjective. Not lasting or enduring, temporary or short-lived, passing quickly in and out of existence, ephemeral or fleeting. The transient nature of life itself. The transient beauty of cherry blossoms in the spring. The transient feeling of happiness. The transient nature of a rainbow. The transient nature of the fashion industry. Despot as noun. A ruler with absolute power and authority, often using it oppressively and unjustly. The country was ruled by a despot who suppressed free speech and jailed dissidents. The despot was known for his ruthless tactics and disregard for human rights. The people revolted against the despot and overthrew his regime. The despotism of the ruler led to widespread poverty and hardship. The despot's excessive spending on luxuries contributed to the country's economic downfall. Exiguity as noun. The condition of being scanty or inadequate. The state or quality of being extremely small or limited in size or amount. The exiguity of the food supply was a major concern for the refugees. The exiguity of the budget meant that we had to be very careful with our spending. The house's small size and exiguity made it unsuitable for a family of 5. The exiguity of evidence meant that the case was dismissed. The poem's beauty lay in its brevity and exiguity. Banality as noun. A trite or unoriginal remark or situation. The commonness or ordinary nature of something. The movie's script was full of banalities, with the characters speaking in predictable and cliched ways. The book was criticized for its banality, with reviewers noting that it offered nothing new or interesting. The product was criticized for its banality, with consumers noting that it offered nothing new or exciting. The artist's work was criticized for its banality, with some critics noting that it lacked any real depth or meaning. The advertising campaign was criticized for its banality, with many viewers noting that it failed to capture their attention or imagination. Rakish is adjective, having a slightly disreputable or cheeky charm, leaning to one side, inclined. He drove a sleek, rakish sports car that turned heads wherever he went. His rakish smile and devilish charm made him irresistible to women. The spy wore a rakish fedora and a long coat as he slipped through the crowds unnoticed. The rakish pirate captain swaggered onto the deck, his cutlass at the ready. The rakish gentleman gambled away his fortune at the gaming table. Umbrage is noun. A feeling of anger caused by being offended or insulted. Offense or annoyance. The CEO took umbrage at the suggestion that he was not a good leader. The artist took umbrage at the critic's harsh review of his work. The politician took umbrage at the opposition's attack on her policies. The employee took umbrage at the boss's comments about his work performance. The customer took umbrage at the store's refusal to accept a return.
Sedulous as adjective, diligent and persistent in one's efforts or work, showing hard work and careful attention to detail. The sedulous student studied for hours every day. The sedulous researcher spent years collecting data for the study. The sedulous employee always arrived early and stayed late. The sedulous artist spent months perfecting her painting. The sedulous entrepreneur worked tirelessly to grow her business.
Dearth is noun. A lack of something that is needed or desired. A scarcity or shortage of something, especially something essential or needed. The team struggled due to a dearth of experienced players. The drought caused a dearth of crops, leading to food shortages. The small town suffered from a dearth of job opportunities for its residents. The conference had a dearth of attendees, which was disappointing for the organizers. The bookshelves were empty, a clear sign of a dearth of readers. Becoming as adjective, attractive or appealing in appearance, suitable or appropriate for a particular person, situation, or occasion. The actress' performance was nothing short of becoming, and she brought a real sense of authenticity to the role. She looked stunning in her becoming new dress. He was always very conscious of his becoming posture and tried to stand up straight at all times. The soft lighting in the room gave everything a becoming glow and made it feel warm and inviting. The new haircut was much more becoming on her than her previous one, and it really suited her features. Augment as verb. To increase or add to something that already exists. To make something greater in size, amount, intensity, or value. The company plans to augment its workforce by hiring more employees and contractors to handle the increased demand for its products. The musician used a variety of digital tools and instruments to augment their live performance and create a more immersive and interactive experience for the audience. The scientist's research aims to augment our understanding of the human brain and its functions, and to develop new treatments for neurological disorders. The farmer uses fertilizers and irrigation systems to augment the yield and quality of their crops, and to reduce the risk of pests and diseases. The athlete follows a strict regimen of training, diet, and supplements to augment their strength, speed, and endurance, and to achieve their peak performance in competitions. Doleful as adjective. Adjective meaning sad, sorrowful, or gloomy. Often used to describe a person's appearance of grief or unhappiness. The doleful expression on her face revealed her sadness and disappointment. The funeral procession made its way down the street with the doleful sound of bagpipes playing in the background. The doleful music added to the melancholy mood of the movie's ending. The abandoned house had a doleful appearance, with its broken windows and overgrown weeds. The doleful news of the pandemic's impact on the economy was reported in the media. Archaic as adjective. Belonging to an earlier time period and no longer in common use. Outdated or no longer in current use. The archaic laws were no longer relevant in modern society and needed to be updated. The archaic language used in the text made it difficult to understand without a translator. The archaic tools and techniques used in the factory were inefficient and outdated. The archaic traditions of the tribe had been passed down for generations and were still observed today. The archaic style of the painting reflected the artistic techniques and conventions of a bygone era. Demur as verb. Express reluctance or hesitate to do something. Object or raise objections, especially on moral or ethical grounds. The employee demurred when asked to work overtime, citing personal obligations. The politician demurred when asked about her stance on a controversial issue. The student demurred when the teacher asked her to present in front of the class. The actor demurred from commenting on the rumors about his personal life. The lawyer demurred to the judge's ruling, arguing that it was unfair. Misconstrue as verb. To interpret or understand something in a way that is incorrect or mistaken. To misunderstand or misinterpret the meaning of something. The media should ensure not to misconstrue the scientist's findings when reporting on complex research. The journalist's article completely misconstrued the facts of the case. His sarcasm was misconstrued as genuine enthusiasm by his coworkers. The statement was intentionally vague, which allowed it to be easily misconstrued by the public. We must be careful not to misconstrue their actions as malicious when they may simply be misunderstood. Inimitable as adjective. Impossible to imitate or reproduce. Unique and one of a kind. The band had an inimitable style that set them apart from other groups. The chef's inimitable culinary skills made her restaurant a popular destination. The writer had an inimitable ability to craft suspenseful stories. His inimitable sense of humor always made his friends laugh. Her voice was inimitable, instantly recognizable. Disaffected as adjective. Disenchanted with a person or cause. Not satisfied or loyal. The disaffected employees staged a walkout to protest the company's new policies. His disaffected attitude towards the government was apparent in his writings. The disaffected youth turned to vandalism as a form of expression. She felt disaffected with her current relationship and decided to end things. The politician's disaffected supporters switched their allegiance to his opponent. Delegate as verb. To assign a task or responsibility to another person. To transfer authority to another person. The manager decided to delegate some of her responsibilities to her team members. The president delegated the task of negotiating with foreign leaders to his Secretary of State. The teacher delegated the responsibility of grading the quizzes to her teaching assistant. The coach delegated the task of organizing the team's equipment to one of the players. The CEO delegated the responsibility of leading the company's marketing efforts to the head of marketing.
Avid as adjective. Characterized by strong desire or interest, eager or enthusiastic in pursuing an interest or activity. He is an avid collector of vintage records and spends hours searching for rare finds.
She is an avid reader and always has a book with her.
The avid sports fan never misses a game and is always up to date on the latest scores and stats. The avid hiker is always looking for new trails to explore. The company is targeting avid gamers with its latest product release. Foible as noun. A minor flaw or defect in something, especially one that does not affect its functioning or quality. A minor weakness or fault in character, behavior, or judgment. Despite his many foibles, he was still a beloved figure in the community. One of his foibles is that he always forgets to tie his shoelaces. She found his foibles endearing and charming. His foibles made him seem more human and relatable. The politician's foibles were exposed during the scandal.
Catholic as adjective. Relating to the ancient undivided Christian church. The university offered a Catholic education, with a curriculum that emphasized a broad range of subjects. The book club welcomed members of all faiths, promoting a Catholic view of literature and ideas. The writer had a Catholic taste in music, enjoying everything from classical to rock and roll. The politician had a Catholic approach to policy, seeking to balance the interests of different groups. The art exhibit showcased a Catholic selection of styles and media, including painting, sculpture, and photography. Ready to boost your English or ace the GRE? Meet the GRE Vocabulary app, a fun and effective way to master language. Learn advanced words with examples and audio. Master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Customize your practice by difficulty or focus. Translate into 100+ languages with ease. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.